All right, and we are live on the pregame storm. We are a few hours away from kickoff between South Carolina and Alabama. The Tide rolling in here as a top five team, and the Gamecocks are hoping to find some magic and pull this upset. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. Got my good buddy Andrew on here again. How you doing, Andrew?
Doing great, man. So happy to be back on the show.
Yes, sir. It's always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. But yeah, we talked about it in our preview and prediction video, and it's kind of sad to really think not a lot of confidence and hope coming into this game for a lot of Gamecock fans, but
It is.
could today turn the tide of the season, maybe. No pun intended.
um, it would definitely take a Herculean effort for that to happen. I mean, South Carolina
Oh
would
yeah.
have to play clean football in all three phases of the game: offense, defense, special teams. I can trust the defense and special teams to play a solid game, but I just cannot trust the offense.
Yeah,
It's
no.
just the lack of creativity on offense. I was watching college game day today, and they were talking about how Eli Drinkwitz likes to run stretch runs. Where you kind of stretch the field, and maybe you roll the O line, do an outside zone run. It's like I was watching it thinking, why doesn't Mike Shula? Why doesn't he do any of this? It's like it's creative. I mean, it would help you actually be able to run the ball. And the thing is, it's not like we're against running the football. That's not the thing. I mean, I think South Carolina should be a running team with Sellers. He's a prolific, dynamic runner. They have Faison and Fuller. The problem isn't South Carolina running the ball; it's the way they do it. Is that they like to get line up in like that bunch formation and just run up the middle, try to be more physical than the other team instead of trying to spread them out. You know,
Yeah.
do something with Sellers like an RPO or just do a stretch run, do an outside zone run, and roll the O line and pull a tight end or a running back as a blocker. They just don't do any of that, and I think that that's just on Mike Schuler for having a lack of creativity. It's just I don't know what he's trying to establish. I mean, I guess they feel a need to, I guess, try to show they're the more physical team than the other team out there. But I mean, I think they should just try to be creative and try to do something like that. That's what Missouri does. That's what Georgia Tech, Florida State, all these teams with competent offensive coordinators do. So I just can't trust the offense today. You know, unless they go out there and start showing me something totally different. But if that happened, I would question whether Shula was the one actually calling the plays.
Yeah.
Um, so I wish they would just
You
do
know,
something like that. If they would just spread the field and use that shotgun formation with 3, 4, 5 wide receivers to exploit the defense.
Yeah, I think at this point, man, we want to see something different, man. Just give us something different because we can't keep doing the same thing we've been doing
Yep.
all season long, which is nothing. Nothing's worked for us, and we just can't keep going down that route. And you can't be so predictable with the inside runs. You can't be all so predictable with these, running up the middle. And I think we should try, like you said, more power spread, more RPOs, more slants. In my opinion, I think we need to do more slants.
Oh yeah.
How would you
You
feel
get the
about play
ball.
action passes?
That's a that's a great idea. A lot of offensive coordinators will run the ball to set up a play action pass because they
Right.
can try to catch the defense snapping. I think they need to do that with this offense with Sellers. I think anytime you have a dynamic quarterback that can, run, you should probably throw in play action passes just because it can catch the defense off guard when you're running the ball with the quarterback and when the running backs, and when you resort to a play action pass, you can catch them off guard and like
Damn
get
it,
them
Oklahoma! God,
up.
I'm sorry. I'm
I see
sorry.
Ole
I'm
Miss
sorry.
just scored. Yeah,
Jeez, man, I'm
I
sorry.
have
They're my second favorite
Yeah,
team.
I have
I'm
the game on
sorry.
my television right now. I have four games on
Good
my
God, man.
television. I'm watching it right now. But yeah, that Ole Miss offense is tough to stop. Makes me scared for next week. But we'll cross
And
that
here's the
bridge when we.
problem: they're doing this against one of the best defenses in the country. We can only muster up 7 points against Oklahoma,
And
but
it took a bunch of
for
penalties on that drive and a fourth and
yeah,
goal jump
yeah,
pass.
the penalties too. I think yeah, the refs were bad in that game. I'll be honest, in defense of Oklahoma, but at the same time, I'm not sure why a lot of them were complaining because I mean, you nearly won by 20 points, so it's just like.
You almost
If it
shut them
was a
out.
one score game, I could maybe understand it a little bit. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, you won by nearly 20. But anyways,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. Oklahoma's my second favorite team. I love them, and golly, man, Oklahoma, Ole Miss is just putting it on them right now. I mean, sadly, I took Ole Miss to win that football game for this reason. I didn't think,
Me
I
too.
said all week long they have not seen an offense like this, and I think it's going to be a struggle for this defense today. And look at that. And you see, that makes it even matter as a South Carolina fan too. Why can't we do stuff like that, bro?
Yeah. Cool.
But we got two people in here. Make sure you comment. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Don't be shy. We love to hear from you. But yeah. Well, going back to Mike Shula and everything, it's just, do you ever notice too, like when we're doing something that's working, we go away from it. Have you noticed that
Exactly.
too?
Dur-
Like
Listen, during the
what?
Kentucky game, on that I remember on like the first drive they scored, they were at the goal line and they handed off to Faison and he actually cut through and scored. And my dad, because we were there at the game, and he pointed and he said, "Do you know why they had success running on that play? Because they pulled a tight end and used him as a blocker." And I said, "Well, that works, so that probably means Mike Shula won't do it anymore." And he hasn't done it since. It's like, and the thing is, like pulling the tight end, using him as a blocker, that's like a power spread option run concept. It's like you were able to run the ball decently there because you did that, and why don't you do it again? And I mean, to be fair, they did on that one play in the Oklahoma game try to do it with Mo Brown, but Matt Fuller just didn't follow him. He was just so accustomed to running up the middle, it became instinctual, and
Yeah, and it's like,
it's like
what?
it
Why,
became.
why keep evading from what's working? I don't understand that.
Yeah, another thing too is that in that Virginia Tech game, it's going
What's
great,
going on,
Gamecock Chuck.
Gamecock Chuck? It's good to see you, buddy.
Good to
I
see you too.
appreciate you tuning in.
But in that Virginia Tech game, I remember when they threw that deep touchdown pass to Harbor, they lined up in that different formation, and my dad points at the TV and says, "I like that formation." And then, sure enough, they throw a touchdown pass on that play, and he said the reason why I like that formation, he said I could tell they were setting up a touchdown pass because they brought those two running backs in to serve as when you do that, it can kind of make them think you might be able to run it, and you can use them as blockers, and he was
You know
explaining to
what?
me how
One
that just
thing. Oh, not to cut you off, buddy. But one thing I noticed too, and we give the offensive line so much hell, and they deserve it. But tight ends and running backs have also missed blocking. I mean, we just don't have
yes,
good blockers, and I don't really understand why either.
yeah,
But
it's
I think we want to see something different, something that can give us a little bit of
yeah.
hope going forward. Because I mean, you got Ole Miss next. Look what they're doing to Oklahoma right now. That's the best
Yeah,
defense in college
about to be
football,
halftime. They have
or one of them.
22 points on the board.
That's
It's,
sad, And I mean, defensively, and we talked about this too, Andrew. It feels like we're probably going to need a defensive score if we want to have a chance in
might
this
need a
one. And I
few.
hate to say that because I hate to be so hopeless, but it's just like we said. I don't have a lot of faith and trust in Shula. I
No.
don't think he's going to change. When someone tells you who they are, believe them. I mean, this guy
Yeah.
has told us time after time he's not going to change, and Beamer, and apparently, Beamer is 100% behind him. Beamer said he supports him.
Yeah.
Just rough, but you know what? At least we're national champs in practice. So
Yeah, man. That's the only
I
thing that
mean,
matters.
yeah, college game day. It looked like they were in Nashville, but they were actually in Carolina's practice facility today. So that
Yep.
was that was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are some? Is there anything that can maybe give you some sorts of hope? Because I will say this: in 2010, looking back to 2010, we don't have Garcia, we don't have Lattimore or Jeffrey. But what happened for Carolina to win that game? It all came together that day.
Yeah.
Everything came together. It's gonna have to be like that again for Carolina. Everything is gonna have to come together for you to win this game. Your
Yeah.
offense is gonna have to look different, completely different than what we've seen all season long. And your defense is probably gonna have to play their best performance too. But here's the issue. Ty Simpson in Alabama is on a roll.
Yep.
Ty Simpson's got 18 touchdowns and only one interception, so he does not turn the ball over. I mean, he doesn't, at least not with his arm. But I don't know. Have you seen him fumble?
I don't know if I have. I mean, I don't know if I've watched, exactly a ton of Alabama football, but I watched some of the Tennessee game. I watched, that Alabama Florida State game. And I
Yeah,
mean, Alabama just they know how to play clean football, and you know, like you said, South Carolina's going to have to force a few turnovers to win. It's just you can't trust the offense, and so I mean that's just not a good sign for South Carolina.
yeah.
Alabama. You know
Now there
that
is one
they
thing
play.
too. Oh, go ahead. You weren't finished.
I said that they play clean football. It's just not a good
Oh yeah.
sign, and I mean honestly, I think Alabama might be. I think Alabama and Alabama fans they might be more positive about what South Carolina can do in this game than we are as fans. It's just I think they have that
Well,
PTSD from seeing Alabama on the road, but I
and
think those fears will die down today.
I was actually about to get into that too. They mentioned on College Game Day to get today. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought they said DeBoer is on a losing streak or something on the road against ranked teams in the SEC.
Against unranked teams on the SEC who have like a losing record, he's been like 0-3.
So
It's
that
like,
might be a reason why Bama fans
yeah,
are scared coming into this one. They're like, well, we know we're better than them. We know we should win, but like we just if you're Alabama, man, you can't come out here and lay a big fat turd today. You can't dribble down
yeah.
your own leg, and you can't let South Carolina beat you. You
You
can't
can't let
because
Shula beat you. You can't. You
yeah, you
can't
can't
let
let
your old. You
you
can't let
lose to
your
Mike
old
Shula,
friend.
you're down bad. I just
Yeah,
gotta be honest. What's up, Zanino? What's up, Gamecock fan? Not 943. It's good to see you guys in here. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe. But I'll just say this. I don't think, and again, I can understand why some Bama fans are worried. And I was saying this on the Gamecock Chuck and Dillmaker show. South Carolina has had, for whatever reason, in their football history, they've had this weird tendency to beat someone they're not supposed to and lose to someone they're not supposed to.
beat number one Alabama, then lose to Kentucky the next week,
Yep, that's a prime example, man. That's a prime example.
or lose
You
to
beat
Tennessee on the
you
road,
were
then
a
beat number five Missouri the next week.
yeah. Remember this too. When we beat in 2021, we beat Florida like 40-17 as 20-point underdogs at home. What happened? We pissed away a winnable game against Missouri the next
Yeah, I
week.
remember the O line
So
just playing terrible that game.
yeah, and after the Florida game too, and I will say this, and don't read into what I'm saying because I'm not getting my hopes up. I don't think we win this game, but it is odd. Not gonna lie to you. The whole fan base it felt like was down and out on the season after the Florida game in
Oh yeah,
2022,
oh
and
yeah,
then out of nowhere, South Carolina just whips up
yep,
on a top five team at home at night. Now this is not a night game, but it goes to show you how weird South Carolina football is,
it
and maybe
is
that's another thing that people are taking into consideration and saying, well,
possibly.
South Carolina, they're a weird team, man. They'll beat someone they shouldn't and lose to someone they
Yeah,
shouldn't. But here's the problem, man. We just have not had much of an offensive pulse at all this year. We
no,
can't run the football, and that's something you're going to have to do to win this game. And Alabama's run defense. Everyone talks about them. They say they're terrible. There's some truth to that. I think they're like number 83 in the country, but I think they did shut down Ahmad Hardy. I think Rooster
yeah,
mentioned that on this show a couple of
yeah.
nights ago. So
Hardy
I mean,
struggled the
and we
past
just
2
haven't been able
weeks.
to run the football.
Auburn was able to kind of shut them down too. I think
Yeah,
maybe defenses have figured out Missouri's run scheme a little bit, but I mean, like you said, I think running the ball will be big today. That they need to do that. The Rooster mentioned this too on Gamecock Chuck's pregame show. But if you watch the Virginia Tech California game last night, Virginia Tech won in part because they were able to run Kyron Jones and he wore them out. Kyron
yeah.
Jones is a lot like Lenore says in that he's a running quarterback. I mean, why are you afraid to use Sellers that way? That's what he's built for. If you beat Alabama today by some miracle, it'll be because Sellers balled out and he was able to run it. You need to be able to run him like Virginia Tech did Kyron Jones last night. I mean, it's just I think it's common sense. I think everybody can see that except Shula.
And
It,
that's
it,
what's so frustrating and true.
it's
I'm about to say, don't even get me started. Like,
I mean,
look what this
honestly,
guy did for you last year, and you're gonna
yeah.
go away from that. Like, what are you thinking? Nice.
I think
Gee, it
maybe
makes
that
me
Mike Shula
mad.
might be an undercover Clemson agent at this point. Just,
You might be
just
onto something, bud.
hired to
You
sabotage
might be
them.
onto something. You might be onto something there.
It's just so
But
mind-boggling. It's like, but yeah, for me to have any amount of hope today, I mean, we've seen South Carolina under Shula sometimes, have good first scripted drives where they're able
yeah,
to
need
put
to go
together
away from what's working.
a scripted drive and it works. We saw that against Virginia Tech. We saw that sort of against Oklahoma until they decided to be hard headed and run up the middle with phase on 3 times.
And
What would give
that's
what would give me hope offensively today is if they can have offensive success, consistent offensive success after that first scripted drive. If they could like stick to some of the things they did on that first drive, or just have success after that scripted first drive, I would have a little bit of hope. So, but they don't seem to be able to do that. It's I I think we need to have a run up the middle counter, and every time they run up the middle, just increment it by one, and set maybe we said like set an over or under it at like 20, and see how many
I
times.
said that at Gamecock Chuck's show earlier today. I was like Chuck and Dillmaker, which I don't know if Gamecock Chuck is still in here, but Chuck, if you're still in here, what's your over and under on how much runs up the middle we're gonna have today? I made a comment about that in this stream, but uh, I how much would you say? Maybe 20, 25?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good number. I mean, it's just, who knows really? Sugar just seems absolutely insistent on that. It's just he just seems unwilling to change.
Yeah, and
So
that's
it's,
you
it's,
know,
it's
and
it's just such a boring offense to watch too. It's like no razzle dazzle, no wrinkles, no nothing to really catch your attention to really excite you. It's just this boring old offense that doesn't really produce much of anything.
whatever, as Zanino says, whatever it is he's slamming the over. I can't blame you, but man, Indiana's jumping all over
Oh yeah,
UCLA, 34 to
34 to
3.
3.
Look at Indiana, man.
Yeah,
I'll say this.
look at Georgia Tech too. They're beating about to be 8-0. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, they're up 17 to
and
3.
here's the thing: these are programs in Indiana, Georgia Tech, and Vanderbilt. They've struggled now. Georgia Tech does have a history of success,
Well, that
unlike the
was
other two,
that was sort
but
of a long, long time ago with
yeah,
Bobby
they've
Dodd
been
and Bill Alexander and John Heisman. That was the last
yeah,
time that was like
but
they did in
they've been in the toilet.
1989's. Yeah,
I mean, Jeff Collins, who for some stupid reason is on our staff right now, which I freaking hate, but
yeah,
you know, he, I mean, Georgia Tech won 3 games a year under Jeff Collins, and
yeah,
Paul Johnson tried to get it back, and
yeah,
it kind of fell for him too later on. I mean, Georgia Tech, it seems, has been like swimming in a pool of mediocrity for so long, and then finally they bring in a good coach like Brent Key. I'm about to say Brent Pry. What am I thinking? Brent Key, and look at what's happened. They brought in a good quarterback in Haynes King. Look what happened. Look at Clark Lee at Vanderbilt, bringing in a good quarterback
Y-
in Diego Pavia.
letting
They've
Tim Beck
completely
and
and
Jerry Kill run his offense and not micromanaging it, letting them run his offense,
yeah,
letting them run a dynamic scheme that fits Bobby's skill set that works for him, and like
dude,
the spread
he
option.
fits in perfectly with that
It's
scheme.
same thing with Georgia Tech and
Yeah, like Haynes
Indiana. It's
King
like
fits in very well too.
they're
Too.
all running these modern, versions of the spread offense. It's like, why can't we just copy that? I feel like if we did that with Sellers, it'd be a completely different story right now. It's just,
You hear this, Shula? You hear this? You hear
yeah,
this, buddy? Yeah, and of course, Indiana with I think it's Stignetti. Is that the name? Did I say it right? It's
Kurt
kind of hard for
Signetti,
me to say his name. Yeah, Signetti. I again,
Signetti,
I can't say it. But
Sig
and then
like in
Julio
signature,
Mendoza.
Fernando
Mendoza. How do
Mendoza.
you say? I can't
It's
pronounce it.
Fernando Mendoza. So like,
Fernando Mendoza. Okay. Yeah, but you see, you bring in these players, and you have these coaches that run this modern offense, and you bring in good players to help. I mean, and the sad part is, well, Nora Sellers is a good football player, and we
oh
know
yeah,
that. But the problem is the guy who coaches him, like, shoo, wait, you stink,
yeah,
can't just do anything, and that's the sad part. because it feels like we're wasting a really talented quarterback. Because let me tell you something, Lenoris is who he showed you he was last year. He is. He can run, and he can pass too. But the problem is he's not a pocket passer. He's not what you're using him for. And
Yeah,
when if you
he's
keep
not.
using him like a statue in the pocket, you're never going to get anywhere with this offense. We've got to change something up because
I'm
you're not winning this game today unless you can score and score quite a bit. You're not. And it's probably going to take a couple special teams or defensive scores for you to win too. That's just how I see this one going.
yeah, I agree.
Unless you can, tough out a bunch of non-offensive touchdowns like you did against SC State, I don't know how you're going to win this game today because I'm just going to be honest. I don't know how you slow down Ty Simpson
Yeah,
and those good wide receivers. Jam Miller might have a good day running too because no one's been talking about this. Oklahoma, they've been bad running the football. Torrey Blaylock comes out here and plays very good. LSU's been bad
yeah,
too. They come out here and look very good. I mean, recently, these teams who have not been able to run the football have been running on you a little bit. So, well, I shouldn't
yeah.
say a little bit. They both had over 100 yards. But, stopping the run and getting after Ty Simpson should be a key,
It should be.
And unless you're able to do both and force Simpson to making mistakes he just hasn't made this season, I just don't see a lot of success here. But I will tell you this. Now, I said last weekend it wasn't a real gut feeling. I do want to make that very clear because I made a hope pick last weekend uh, for Carolina to beat Oklahoma. And while I was doing that, I had something in the back of my mind telling me it's going to be a bad game, and surely it was. But ever since January, I'll be honest, I have had a gut feeling like the same feeling I had coming into A&M game last year. I had going into this Alabama game this
Your
year.
gut has always been right. It's just
If my instincts are usually correct on these type of things, but I will say this: my brain cannot produce hope right now.
oh, mine can't either. If Shula wasn't the OC, I would have hope, but it's just like Shula is the anchor that is holding this offense and this team down. I mean, I feel like we've talked about it until we're blue in the face. It's just until there's a change at the offensive coordinator position, until they do something different, I mean, you're just going to get the same result over and over and over. And I think Carolina will probably have opportunities today, but I expect Shula to probably squander them. I think there will be times when Carolina has opportunities and they squander them, and we're mad and angry as a result. And we'll probably talk about that in the post game. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
trying to I'm not trying to foresee the future or predict the future or prophesy what's going to happen in about an hour and a half, but I could just see that happening. And I mean, I think Alabama's sort of been hearing all week that oh, you can't beat an unranked team on the road. Kalen DeBoer struggles against unranked teams
and
on the
you
road.
you
And
know what else, Andrew? And remember the last time we were live? I don't mean to cut you off, but the last time we were live, I was saying I didn't get why Bama fans and other people were making a big deal of South Carolina making the homecoming game. Well, I get why now because your homecoming game is when all the alumni come
yep,
back. It's when everything comes back, and you usually schedule a cupcake game for
yeah,
those. And I had no idea. So you know what you're telling Alabama when you do that? That you think you're gonna easily beat them. Like, what are you doing? Why would you give them rat poison? Now that I understand that, and now that
well,
I'm educated about it, whoever did that is a freaking moron. And again, I hate to put it that way, but why would you do that?
well.
Now,
It,
I
I
mean, look
mean,
at this.
with
Look,
homecoming,
oh, this was from the Furman game in
yep,
2014. That was a
I was
homecoming
there at
game.
that game.
Yeah, me too. In fact, that was the last time I went to a game before the Old Dominion game because I was moving all over the
Yeah,
country, so I couldn't. I wasn't living in South Carolina for about 7, 8 years, so I couldn't really go to Willie B. But and I understand it. We made A&M our homecoming game last year,
yeah.
so
I mean,
whatever. But it's just usually you schedule your home like teams like Furman or teams you
yeah.
should win,
I
and
mean,
you don't really. Yeah, I
yeah.
just Bama as a homecoming game, and man. that just seems like a bad decision, man. It just, you know,
I mean, to
but
be fair, it could. I mean, homecoming's usually somewhere in the middle of the season, and it can be hard to find a small school to schedule in the
that
middle of
is
the
true.
season. You
That's
usually
true.
you schedule the cupcakes at the beginning of the season, or the 11th game of the season to make it senior day. To so that can be a little cupcake before you face your biggest rival, and the seniors can go out of a W. With what usually is not always, but sometimes their last home game. So, I mean, I can kind of understand that. It's just, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are thinking that, and I'm sure they'll give it their all today. South Carolina will, but I mean,
I mean,
I
I
think
hope so.
I think Alabama's more prepared than people think they are for this game. I do.
Yeah.
I think this is just a different team than what we saw in Week 1 with Florida State. If it was that, I mean, if this was that same Alabama team we were seeing, okay, I could understand. But I think Alabama, they've heard all the noise from that, and they've really adjusted and adapted and changed. And I mean, this is really, I don't think, is the same Alabama team. It's a much improved Alabama team that's, I think, maybe more even more serious now than they were in Week 1.
Yeah. And Bama cannot afford to sleep on Carolina. And
Oh, they
again, we
can't.
know our
They got
offensive struggles. It's not
LSU
good,
and Oklahoma coming
but
up too.
yeah, but you lose this game. Oh, your margin for error is very, very small. If you let South Carolina beat you today, I mean, and like you said, with what you have coming up, your margin of error gets very thin. And
Yeah,
it's just right now, though, the way I've seen both teams play with my working eyeballs, and I got a brain between my two ears, as my good buddy Dillmaker would say. And I just seen both teams, and I just can't. I want to have hope. And, despite what my gut predicted in the offseason, I can't see it.
yeah, me neither.
And I can, it is intriguing, though, that college game day put this as a trap game. And I've heard that all week long talking about this game. Trap game for Bama. Trap game, trap game, trap game. Can Carolina do it, man? Can we do it? Can we just can we pull some of that magic that we had in 2010, 15 years ago? We're about to find out in a few hours.
Yeah, and about an hour and a half. So,
Yep.
but yeah, it's just a lot of people are mentioning this as a trap game, and maybe it is. It
I mean, don't
potentially.
they have who do they have next? Because I think that don't they have LSU next?
Yeah, they have LSU and Oklahoma, but and
So
another thing I
maybe
want.
that's why, because this is kind of
Yeah,
that
yeah,
game right
because
before a
they've come off of
rivalry game.
well,
Maybe it's a tricky spot.
they've come off of the last 4 weeks have been against ranked opponents. They've been marquee games, and you have two more coming up, and this is sort of the South Carolina's like the unranked bad team sandwich in between. So maybe you
Yeah, team
sleepwalk
that's
through them,
struggling.
but
We just haven't been able to do anything offensively. It,
yeah,
it feels like everything's in place for Bama to
oh yeah,
win, but that could also be a recipe for disaster too, because
yeah,
there are times at South Carolina where we felt, remember we were rolling in 2022. I think we were on a 4 game
yep.
winning streak. Then we go and play a bad Missouri team at
I was
home,
there.
and we lost.
Yep,
So,
and
if you're Bama, you can't sleep. You got to get up. You got to play good football. Don't do things to shoot yourself in the foot, because South Carolina, well, and here's the thing though, LSU gave us here's the thing that makes me question. Even if Bama does come out here and kind of fiddle around a little bit with Carolina, LSU did the same damn thing, and
yep.
LSU's not a really good team in my opinion.
I
So
mean,
I mean, they
I
got
don't
a
think
good
they're a great team either.
defense,
They have a
but I
standard defense,
mean,
but offensively, they just not that good.
yeah, they just suck. But how many opportunities did Carolina have to win that game in Baton Rouge,
I mean,
and they
how many
just couldn't?
I mean, they won the turnover battle 3-2, and how many times did they get in LSU territory and then just stall or have a false start penalty? They missed a field, on that first play. They did the quarterback under center thing on the second drive. They drove downfield. They missed a field goal. That the tight end Jordan Dingle dropped the pass on that third down. So they've squandered away opportunities. And another thing I wanted to talk about, you talked about how the margin of error if Alabama loses this game is thin. I mean, for Carolina, if they lose this game, the margin of error when it comes to making a bowl game becomes extremely thin because you're 3-5. You've got two tough opponents on the road coming up. So you will play A&M coming out of a bye week, so maybe that helps you. But I mean, if you, I mean, you'd have to literally split those games and beat Coastal and
Yeah,
Clemson. You'd have to win 3 out of your last 4 to make a bowl game if you lose
and
today. And
that's gonna be
I just
no.
don't see that happening. So if
And
Carolina loses
here's
today, the margin of error becomes extremely thin for them too. And
yeah,
I
and
mean, if you're saying Beamer and you miss a bowl game, I mean that automatically guarantees your seat is pretty hot heading into
it'll be
next
two
season.
losing seasons in the last 3 years, by the
Yep,
way. But
it would.
to your point, this is I think this is our final SEC home game, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it is because yep, you're right.
Yeah,
It is.
and you got this is the last game in the SEC where you're going to have home field advantage.
Yep.
If you win today, you give yourself you're at 4 wins.
You,
Clemson and Coastal are very winnable, in
I
my
mean,
opinion.
you'll
I
be
mean,
favored against
Coastal's
Coastal.
down bad. Well, no, excuse me. Clemson's down bad. Coastal should be a win, but you can't. Like I said,
Yeah,
you can't screw around with them because they can beat you the way you're playing. If you win this game, you give yourself like, hey, maybe that chance for bowl eligibility is still there.
yeah,
Because
and
Ole Miss and A&M, I don't see how you outscore their offenses.
yeah,
I mean, both of them are just incredible offensively,
especially on the
and I
road,
just don't
tough
see how
environment.
you're going to be able to keep up with
Yeah,
them. So here's your chance, man,
yep,
because you got the home field advantage here today. And if you lose today, which I think we're going to, sadly, man, it feels like it feels like whatever chance you had to maybe do something. And I felt that way last week, but it feels like it's completely dead. I mean,
it
completely
does.
dead.
It does. And I mean, if South Carolina were to somehow magically pull the upset and make a bowl game, I mean, I think fans would still be very dissatisfied with Beamer. He'd still be in on the hot seat heading into next year. But I mean, you would feel maybe a little bit better because you made a bowl
To be
game.
fair, Andrew, he did bring us our first practice national champion. So,
Yeah, never happened
you
in
know,
before in the history of the program. So I
I
mean,
know, right? No, but yeah,
so
our loyalty, and like you said, me and you, we've gone to a lot of games together
we
over a
have.
couple years, and we've both been a Gamecock walk. We've both gotten Beamer to say hello to us. We've both had good interactions with him. And I appreciate that, Coach. You probably Beamer's never going to watch this channel, but if he does,
Yeah,
I want you to know, despite the criticism, I do appreciate you as a person.
it's constructive criticism.
Right, it is tough love.
It's meant to
With
build you
that
up, not to
being
tear you
said,
down.
yeah. With that being said, our allegiance is to the University of South Carolina. It's not to one person, because, like I told you, the program is bigger than any one thing. You know, it's bigger than a coach. It's bigger than one player. I mean, it's bigger than anything. If Beamer comes out here in the offseason, say we miss bowl eligibility, I mean, this will already be a crucial offseason for him.
Oh yeah,
If you retain Mike Shula and
you're
you
as good
don't
as
get
fired.
weapons in the transfer portal, man, that's gonna be tough for you.
Well, I mean,
You've gotta. And here's the other thing too. Whether if you do move on from Mike Shula, you better make a good hire for
oh
offensive
yeah,
coordinator.
it'll be your
You
last
better
chance.
change up because here's the thing: we blame the OCs a lot, but I think Beamer himself is in love with this pro style
He
system. He
is.
hired these guys.
He is.
And you've got to change that. It's brought. What have you seen, man? And this is year 5. 5 years of bringing in this milk dud uh, pro style offense that doesn't work in college football, doesn't work in South Carolina. How could you hire another pro style offensive coach after 5 years of failing? If you can't see it after 5 years, you're never going to see it, and
Yeah,
that's gonna. That I mean, it's gonna be mutiny among the fan base. It will be.
yeah, it will. I just don't understand how he could still go over pro style offensive coordinator. But hey, I thought that after Satterfield, and I mean, again,
Yeah.
Loggins wasn't terrible, but
Was
he
that
stuck
not
with
a
it.
lesson?
Yeah, it's I just don't because again, he's hired 3 not so great, I'll say, because Loggins was okay offensive coordinators, and it's like there's an old saying, 3 strikes, you're out. I think usually after the third time of failing, a person will learn their lesson. But I mean, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And
Right.
maybe Beamer is just insane. Maybe that sounds a little harsh, but I mean, when you keep hiring pro style offensive coordinators and running that scheme when it's been proven not to work, I mean, maybe you are a little bit insane. I'm not trying to say this to be rude, but maybe he needs to step back and just completely reevaluate his entire offensive philosophy
I think
and
so too. I
think
don't
of
think
moving
that's
to
rude. I think that's just
true.
logic. I think that's just what you had to do at this point. You got to do something different,
Yeah,
you know. But all right, Andrew. So we're gonna wrap this up here very soon. But let's say South Carolina at the end of this game, Elvis is still alive. Bigfoot is real. The groundhog sees his shadow. Michael Jackson is still moonwalking
yeah.
somewhere, and South Carolina beats Alabama. What do you think the attitude and the mood of the fan base is going to be? Because we've been very critical of Mike Shula and of this coaching staff, as we should be. And I don't think one upset win is going to change a
Yeah.
lot of that. I'll be honest with you, unless we see something massive change. Because for me, I would say, great, you did it. You beat a
Yep.
top five Bama team. Let's see if you could do that again.
Yeah, I
My boy
complete.
Gavin just texted me saying he got me a towel from the game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hell yeah. Let's
W
go, baby.
Gavin. Um, yeah, if
Shout out to our boy Gavin at the game.
yep,
Hope you can see an upset today, good sir, but I sadly doubt it.
yeah, he's I think every fan who keeps going to these games and sitting to the end probably deserves a medallion as an award. But I mean, if South Carolina would have pulled off the upset somehow magically, I mean, I'd be standing here probably at 7 p.m. ready to run through a brick wall, and I think we all would.
Yeah.
We'd be happy, you know.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I still would probably be on the fire Stula train again.
Yeah.
I
Unless
would
we
probably even question if he called the plays.
Yeah,
One,
that's what I'm thinking too. Like we'd probably be here saying, okay, that wasn't no Mike Shula.
yeah, that was Fury
You
or
would have
Elliott
to
or
That's how I felt when Marcus Satterfield did
yeah,
whatever. Like when we did it to Tennessee, I'm like, there's no way Sat called this, bro.
yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
yeah,
But
yeah,
Tennessee fans will tell us we cheated for that one, so whatever.
yeah,
But I mean, they'll probably say we cheated to get our practice national champion. They're so
yeah,
mad because we took the life champions away from them. Cry about it, Vol fans. But anyways, I'm just joking. But man, to me, I'll say this: if we win, I'll be very ecstatic. It would be a big win, and it'd be another top 10 win for Beamer
it
and
would
the
be.
Gamecocks. But for me, here's a problem: if we do it, I'll be very intrigued to see how you come out against Ole Miss.
Yes,
Because if you have one good game against Alabama, then revert to your same bull crap the next week in Oxford, then you're going to lose everything once again.
we saw
So
Muschamp do
you
this.
got to be consistent. If you come out here, and like I said, Elvis is still alive, the Bigfoot, think rumors true, there really are aliens in Area 51 and all
You know
this
that.
crap, the earth really is flat or something, and you beat Alabama, you better be consistent at what you found to do it. Because for us to win this game today, we're gonna have to find something new.
Yeah,
And if you find gold, you better damn well stick through it and not revert to the same old dog crap that got you all this criticism in the first place.
yeah. I mean, yeah. If they found something new today, they better stick to it. And we saw Muschamp have big wins and then turn around and revert back to his old self the next week.
Yeah, that,
In 2019, we saw him upset number three Georgia. His seat temporarily after that game maybe cooled
who
off a
picked
little bit.
that, by the way? Not to
Fans were
brag, but who picked that, by the way?
you did you
But
and people were like, oh yeah, fire Muschamp, making fun of it, and then they turn around and they play a decent, solid game against Florida the next week. Of course, that game had a lot of questionable calls in it. Not going to get back into that one, but
yeah,
and
but
then
we
and then
also
they
couldn't
turn
stop
around.
them though, and I think that
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
problem. But
yeah, yeah, and then
that
they
Georgia game, I hate to say it, I think that was very flukish. I mean,
yeah.
you turned Jake Fromm over four times, and the
Well,
best kicker in
Fromm
college
wasn't
football
the
missed, I
best.
think, two field goals. That's just weird, man. That shit don't happen. You know what
Well,
I
I mean,
mean?
Fromm it wasn't the best passer.
He
I mean,
wasn't, but that was a little much even for him, if you know what I
yeah.
mean.
Yeah, I mean, he was 0-5 at that point in a game when he attempted 30 passes or more. I am I remember telling my dad, South Carolina didn't beat Georgia. Georgia beat themselves. South
Yeah,
Carolina
that's
just
what
happened to
happened,
be the
man.
team that played them that day.
Now
And
give Israel McQuamu. I think
oh
that was
yeah,
that's the guy. Give him credit because
oh
he
yeah,
did. I mean, he
legendary
got the two
game.
interceptions, and I don't think we win that game if it wasn't for him. So, I mean, and I know we're talking like 5 years in the past, but I mean, remember when Bentley in South Carolina they beat a ranked Tennessee team at home? That was when Casey
Yeah,
Crosby did that famous stance
yeah,
that I when I was a kid, I did that at school the next week. Every Gamecock kid in school was doing that the next week, me included.
yeah. I remember that game.
But uh, I mean, and the way we closed out the 2016 season, I think we'd all say it was impressive because we were
It
what
was.
2-4, and
Yep,
then
and then
Bentley comes in and we
finished
just
six
look
and six.
completely.
Beat
Yeah.
Tennessee, Missouri.
And
Western.
the crap show against Clemson that year. There ain't. Have you ever? I don't think I've ever, as a Carolina fan, felt more dejected after a game than that 56 to 7 crap. But I don't want
Yeah,
to talk about that. I don't want to
yeah. I
remember
remember
that.
that touchdown
Thank
pass,
God
that
they're down, and we probably don't have to
Deshaun
worry
Watson
about that again.
touchdown pass
But
where the Clemson receiver just carried like those two Carolina guys on top of him into the end zone. I was like, what was that?
oh, don't give me
But
bad
yeah,
memories,
let's
Andrew.
not. Yeah, thankfully we're not stuck in the Muschamp days anymore. But
Yeah,
I
but
mean, this
well,
what we're seeing right now
some of the
feels
things
like it.
we've seen is very much champion.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
yeah.
But again, if we win this game, it'll be amazing. It'll be
It'll
a big upset, probably the upset of the college football season. Let's
you
be
know it
honest.
it will, and even at least we could look back on this one and say we were able to salvage something that left in our season. We were able to salvage this one. We
Yeah,
might not have been able to make the playoffs, but we can look back on this game and fondly. But I mean, even if South Carolina pulled off the upset today, that wouldn't really change how
got to
I
be
feel about Shula
consistent.
that much.
Yeah, you got to
You
do
got to
it
be
consistently.
consistent. It wouldn't make me all of a sudden trust Beamer's ability to hire good offensive coordinators. You
Yeah,
have to be consistent, and I'm not saying that they necessarily even have to beat Mississippi next week, but let's say they win today and next week they lose, but it's a close competitive game, and we do see a lot of the good stuff, carry over from this week. I would still have a little bit of, hope because they wouldn't have, completely reverted back.
I'd be like, yeah, we didn't.
No,
My
no
my
more
stance on
victories,
moral
no
victories.
more victories, and I'm not
Yeah,
endorsing that.
my stance on that. But I would be like, well, you know what, y'all? At least we showed some damn. And at
Consistency.
least we're seeing some progress, some
Yes.
consistent progress.
Yeah, and
You know,
it would allow me to have hope heading into the A&M game. And
yeah.
I mean, South Carolina, I
Just give
mean,
us something, man.
needs to win today to sort of salvage what's left of their season and maybe recapitulate some hopes that they can maybe finish solid down the stretch. But I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to take a Herculean effort. Alabama is a good team. I mean, I think they've heard some of the noise, like I said earlier. I think they're going to play a good game, and I mean, th- I mean
Shout
this.
out to Ice, by the way. Really, really good sparkling water.
Yeah,
But
I
go
like their
ahead.
sparkling water, but
I
I mean,
know.
I mean, this game's either going to go one or two ways. Either Alabama's going to win in a blowout, or it's going to be close and competitive to the
Yeah.
finish. And you know, again, I wouldn't be surprised if South Carolina came out and showed some decent things on the first drive. The scripted first drive,
It
but
probably will.
but can you be consistent? Like, can you
And
keep it
not
up?
consistent in running it up the middle,
Yeah,
Shula.
yeah.
Don't be consistent in that
You
regard.
can be consistent in being able to move the ball up and down the field, not just move it up and down the field for one play or one quarter or one drive. It's just, can you be consistent? And that will be the, I think, deciding factor on whether this game is a closer, interesting game or whether it's just Alabama comes in and comfortably wins this one. And I mean, that's what I think people will be looking for. So I mean, this is a big game for South Carolina. They have to show something different if they have any hopes of pulling off the magical upset today. But
Yeah.
I'm I'm uh I'm sort of curious to see what Beamer will do. Will we see a special teams play from South Carolina? How aggressive will he be? I mean, will he try to show some Beamer ball? It feels like it hasn't been working lately, but Will he try something with that? You know, how aggressive will South Carolina be? That's I think
Yeah.
an interesting question.
Like I say, well, let's try some RPOs. Let's try some
Yeah,
slants. How about some outside runs?
beautiful.
Just spread out the defense,
Let's try
and
rolling the pocket.
yeah, roll the pocket. And let me tell you that make them beat you for the air. If that makes sense
Yeah,
too, because take away their ability to run the ball. And I know Bama's kind of in some ways struggled with that just a little bit this season, but again, you can't don't let Jam Miller run all over you the way you've let
yeah.
Tory Blaylock and I forgot what was the guy's name at LSU. I forgot his name. It's
Mm,
lost on me right now.
it's kind of a might be lost on me too. I might have to look it up.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
it's
mean,
fine.
South
I
Carolina had
know it's just kind of I'm having a brain fart.
yeah. I mean, you know, teams that again, South Carolina's run defense is not the best. Teams have had some success running on it. I just don't want it to be a day where, Alabama runs it and they go on these long, winding drives that eats up the
Yeah,
clock and just demoralizes you. And I mean, I feel like that's sort of what we saw last week. And I hope we just don't see something similar today, something demoralizing and something that just, is just sort of not fun, not just pitiful to watch. I mean, I'm
yeah.
again, I don't have much hope, but I mean, to be fair, I didn't have any hope heading into the Alabama game last year because we had just come off of that big loss to Ole Miss, and they they played up close to the competition and almost pulled it off. So I mean, who knows? It feels like with Shane Beamer, there have been a lot of times where we've had a big loss and we have literally no hope coming to the next week, and then all of a sudden they just show it. They just show us something we haven't seen before. It happened last year. Happened in 2022 against Tennessee.
That's
Happened
true.
coming out of that bye week against Florida. I remember Carolina had lost 44-14 to Texas A&M, and they were heading into that bye week, and nobody really had much hope coming into the Florida game, and they won big. So Beamer's teams have had a tendency to do that. So maybe they show us something today. Maybe they turn a
You never know with
corner
Carolina,
today.
man. You
But
just
I mean,
never
you do
know.
never know. But I have to see it before I believe it.
Right, right. And like you say, man, we just you never know with Carolina football.
You
It's
don't.
so weird. But guess what? College aside for now, NFL, some NFL action tomorrow. Andrew, do you like? I know you said you were a Falcons fan, or at least
Well,
a supporter of them.
I mean, I kind of see myself, if you want my honest opinion, as sort of like a nominal Falcons fan. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Fair.
I don't really watch the NFL. It's just I want them to win. It's sort of like with
That's fair.
it's sort of like with NBA. I don't really watch NBA, but I sort of just want them to win. I mean, I will
Well,
admit I'm not really a big NFL guy. I'm more of a really a college football guy. I will admit don't really I mean, I'll watch it during the NFL playoffs. I'll watch the NFL wild card and the
yeah,
NFL
that's
playoffs.
kind of how I was for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I will tell you the reason I'm asking because my team, the Green Bay Packers, are playing prime time tomorrow against the
Ooh.
Pittsburgh Steelers. So wanted to show some support
Yeah.
to the Green Bay mother loving Packers.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a tough game, man. Pittsburgh on
Yeah.
the road. The Bengals beat them though.
Mm.
So I mean Green Bay, I feel like we're a really solid team, but we just kind of have the tendency to shoot ourselves in the foot at the worst times. So
Sounds like South
hopefully,
Carolina.
yeah, hopefully Jordan Love and that offense
Yeah.
can not make a lot of mistakes, and hopefully the Packer defense can play well. We'll need Micah Parsons for sure, but Tucker Kraft is my favorite Packers player right now. I mean, I freaking love that dude. I mean, he is. I mean, he is such a playmaker. He's big, physical, and man, he can just beat you in several ways. I mean, he is such. I was so excited about him in the offseason, and he is. I'd say he really has come alive a lot for the Packers. And go Pack, go baby! Hoping we could get 5-1, and unfortunately another one because you tied the Cowboys. But
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't lose to them, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
good. But
Nobody likes ties. It's
yeah, no one likes the Cowboys either. F the
yeah.
Cowboys, but
Yeah. I shared that in that Discord the Bear Bryant quote about ties, what he said about ties. If you saw it, but Yeah, I mean, nobody likes ties. It leaves nobody happy. I mean,
No, and
I
especially, we know Dak Prescott in Dallas. They got a good offense.
yeah,
CeeDee Lamb's been out, but George Pickens has done a lot of good for him. But like, you just Green Bay was a better team, man. They've never lost, at least in AT&T Stadium. They've kind of had the Cowboys number, so that just didn't, because it really felt like we were the better team. But it's just like that defense got gashed by Dak Prescott. I mean, he just lit them up all night long.
yeah.
But yeah, just hoping for. But like you're saying, ties suck. And what? Go ahead and finish because I kind of cut you off there. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I remember when I was a kid, people, sports teams would tie, and people would say, "Yay, everybody wins." It's like, no, like everybody
Everybody
loses.
loses.
It's like you don't get to see who the better team is. It's like neither teams feel happy because the goal is to win, and you didn't. It's just nobody likes a tie, and that's why the NCAA got rid of it in 1996, implementing the overtime rules, and NFL has overtime too. But I mean, again, I don't watch it, but I am I sort of wish they would alter it just to be where ties aren't allowed, make it a little more like college. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm yeah, I have 4 games on
Another
my
flag
TV.
on Oklahoma, and Brent Venables
TV,
losing his mind.
yeah, I'm watching that game right now. I have 4 games on my TV. That the Georgia Tech game, the Indiana game, then the Memphis South Florida game. So some interesting action on right now.
Yeah, and it looks like Ole Miss is about to score again. Lovely,
Yeah,
lovely Oklahoma, lovely. But
yeah,
yeah, Oklahoma, like I've said, they're my second favorite team. I love them. I do. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Boomer Sooner, baby. But there's a team I love more, and I've loved long before Oklahoma, and that's the team I ultimately want to win today. And that's
yep.
these. That's this.
Beat
Beat
Alabama.
Alabama. Beat them. DeBoer is about to go down again against a ranked team on the road. What a shame. But no, but uh Andrew, I appreciate you, buddy. It's been a good show today. But Gamecock Chuck says he's watching 8 games right now. Wow. 8 games. I'm just watching the one. I don't care for a lot of the games on right now. I'm just watching Ole Miss, Oklahoma. But man, at least there's another team in the SEC that beats themselves with penalties. Because good lord, look at Oklahoma, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we're literally about to give it up at the 15-yard line. If I lose my crap here, I'm sorry, Andrew. Let's see what they do before I wrap this up.
Yeah,
Look
I'm
at that,
watching
only
it right
12
now.
rushing yards for Oklahoma. All right, so they got him right there. There you go, defense. But to really wrap up Alabama, South Carolina, not a lot of hope, but we're hoping to be proved wrong. And I will tell
Yep.
you this: the 2010 teams in the building, they're being honored. The only South Carolina team to ever play in an SEC championship, and
Yep.
we're hoping one day we'll
That can
see
change.
another. Yep.
Hoping one day,
Oh,
South
thank
Carolina's head
God, Bronte.
head coach can be carried out of a Mercedes-Benz uh, stadium holding the SEC championship trophy.
That's a dream every Gamecock fan has. Because
Yeah.
here's the thing: we Gamecock fans, we got to up our expectations, but
Yep.
we can't be okay with
Yep.
mediocrity. We got to. Well, here's what I want, man. I want to make the playoffs. I want to win the SEC, and I want to win a national title. That's what I
Me too.
want. That's what every Gamecock fan should want. And
Yep.
we can't be okay with mediocrity every single year because that's all you're gonna get if you're okay with it. Because you're excuse me, you're telling everyone, hey, we're okay with being losers. No,
We're,
we're not, and we shouldn't be.
yeah, we're okay with a 6-6, 7-5 product.
Gee, no.
Yeah.
Fourth down, they're just gonna kick another field goal, or maybe
Yeah.
Lane would go for it. Analytics Lane, he looks like he's going for it. Maybe 4th and 3.
24-yard attempt.
Okay, they're. This is about to be a 12-point ball game.
Oklahoma, though, still very much in this game. And
They are, but like, whew, they're making a lot of dumb
a
decisions.
delay of
Beat
game on
themselves.
Mississippi.
Yeah, but Andrew, it was a pleasure, man. A really good show. It's awesome to have you. Maybe
Thanks,
tonight or
man.
tomorrow. I know Gamecock Chuck is doing his show tomorrow. I think they're doing their show, their recap show on Sundays now. So I don't want to go live while he is because I want to
Yeah,
be there and talk with him. But maybe tonight, maybe tonight
yeah.
or so, we can come back on here and we can do our recap. And I'm hoping we're
Mississippi just
celebrating,
made the
brother.
field goal 25-13.
They what?
They made the field goal, Mississippi
Oh
did.
man, yeah, you're ahead of me.
Oh, yeah.
It's all good, but
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it.
now you're all right. I knew it was coming, but yeah, Oklahoma down by 12.
I have a feeling you'll be doing a lot of that today at 3:30.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just dang it. We're doing so much to shoot ourselves in the foot. We're doing so much. I'm sorry. That's my OU side coming out, but you can see how mad I get.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was a good show,
It
everybody. I
was.
appreciate y'all tuning in. Your man, Cocky Ryan, and Andrew will be back maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Either or, maybe tomorrow night or something. We'll be back with the recap show. But right now, I'm expecting to be disappointed again.
Yeah.
But hopefully tonight we're celebrating. We're talking about a top five upset pick. But
Hopefully.
I don't know if Gamecock Chuck is this in here. But remember, I was telling you about how I am with live streams and stuff, and how the game's going. This is why I don't live stream my reactions
Yeah.
because for every team I care about, I get so mad
Yeah.
over them, and it's just I feel bad though because I really like this hat, but
Yeah.
I slam every hat. So, but I like this one specifically because it's kind of patriotic.
Yeah.
But so I don't like the fact that I got mad and did that. But it is what it is. It happens. We're fans. We're fanatics. But I'm trying to take Mr. Billy's advice. Don't get so mad about it because it's just a football game, and it's true.
Yeah.
But God,
More
man,
there are more important things in life.
right. But with that being said, hopefully we win. But thank you
Hopefully.
all so much. For real this time, your boy Cocky Ryan and my good friend Andrew the Textbook
Spurs up. Beat
checking out.
Alabama.
Go Cox. Beat Alabama's ass. Kalen DeBoer, sir, you're
Prove me
about
wrong.
to have another loss on the road to an unranked team. What a shame. What a shame. Y'all
Yeah.
have a good one. Go Cox, baby.